On Sports Wrap tonight, the Nigeria Super Falcons will play long-time rivals Cameroon in a high-stakes quarterfinal clash on Sunday, the 9th of August. Our coach Justin Madugu's defending champions had a shaky start to their title defense after suffering a surprise 3-2 defeat to Malawi. However, they bounced back strongly with a 1-0 victory over Zambia and completed the group stage with a dominant 6-2 thrashing of Egypt. Nigeria finished as runners-up in Group C under intense head-to-head tiebreaker metrics. Cameroon, on the other hand, cruised into the knockout stage, completely unbeaten, topping Group D with 7 points. They recorded a 2-1 win over Mali, a gritty 1-0 edging of Ghana, and rounded up their group campaign with a 1-1 draw with Cape Verde. Known for their highly physical, robust, and structured defensive tactical system, they present a steep wall for Nigeria to break. There will be quarterfinal action throughout the course of the weekend. Ivory Coast play Algeria, host nation Morocco will take on South Africa, and Malawi will face Ghana. Tosin Adebanjo covers women's football globally. She's live on the bulletin tonight. Glad to have you on the news today, Tosi. Are you one of many who think the Super Falcons are yet to take off and exhibit their true character and quality despite qualifying for the quarterfinals of the WAFCON, Toyosi?
They didn't have the best of starts. They didn't start too well, but that's the Super Falcons for you. They've shown that they are champions and they've been able to grow into this tournament. We've seen how they've been able to show resilience and strength. And in fact, they did the job well against Egypt, where they were supposed to qualify. It was a very tricky one. A lot of people were scared qualifying from that group. Malawi are awesome. It surprised everybody, meaning that the AFCON or the WAFCON for women, the gap is becoming closer and closer when it comes to competition and competitiveness among the women there. And then, of course, you have to talk about Zambia. Zambia, of course, are always mainstays when it comes to the WAFCON. And it's just so unfortunate that they couldn't qualify for the next round because of some of the rules, pertaining to qualifying from the group. But for the Super Falcons, 10 times champions, the expectation is also to bring it home again. But I would not be sad if they don't, because trust me, they're not the only guys, in this tournament. Other nations will obviously be having this grudge or envy towards them that why is it always the Super Falcons winning this tournament? So they're up against Cameroon. The head-to-head favors the Super Falcons, no doubt, but Cameroon are also a very, very good side. And when it comes to women's football, you really cannot tell where it will swing. The Super Falcons are awesome. In fact, I was seeing a review about how stacked we are, from Aziza Oshoala to Ohale. We're stacked when it comes to experience and also when it comes to youthful strength and all that there. So I really think that against Cameroon is going to be tight. The girls need to be on their A game.
Absolutely.
Judging from the first game at this group stage, the first game, if they play the way they played against Malawi, taking it for granted, the Cameroonians would definitely punish them.
They could get hot. And as far as women's football on the continent is concerned, it's beginning to look like the minnows are getting fewer. Between the Super Falcons and Cameroon, 9 wins for Nigeria over Cameroon, 4 for Cameroon. Talking about the head-to-head, they've had 2 draws. The last 2 meetings were friendlies. Cameroon won the first, and the Super Falcons retaliated 5 days later with a 3-1 victory. Though the stats are in favor of the Falcons, you mentioned earlier that these Cameroon ladies, they've got so much grit and they can, pull up results when it matters. But let me ask you, Toyosi, what are your predictions for the other quarterfinal fixtures?
I'm looking forward to Morocco and South Africa again. And I know why I said so. I remember covering this game, or rather this particular fixture, I think 4 years ago or so. It was a very tough one. I remember Nigeria did not do too well in that competition. That's the Super Falcons didn't do too well. It was all Morocco and the South Africans, which South Africa won their very first WAFCON. I want to see how the Banyana would face off against the Moroccans. This time around, of course, we know how the Moroccans are really, really dying to win their very first WAFCON. When it comes to facility, they've got it. When it comes to development, they've been able to develop both their men and women's football to this extent. And the only thing eluding them is winning the WAFCON trophy or the AFCON trophy for the male side. But this time around, they tend to face South Africa again. That has also given them some level of heartbreak over the course of, the WAFCON. So it's going to be like a grudge match. South Africa, Morocco is always like a grudge match. South Africa, Nigeria is a grudge match. Morocco, Nigeria is a grudge match, because these are the big nations when it comes to the women's football in Africa. So I would love to see how the South Africans will be able to hold on to the Moroccan side. Their attacking prowess is awesome. We saw them this tournament already, although the top scorer is not from Morocco, but so far so good. When it comes to maturity in this game, the Moroccans have it. The South Africans, of course, are always mainstay. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the game I really, really want to see. I know that the Super Falcons and and Cameroon is another game, sure, but really, it's the it's the Morocco and South Africa game that I'm really, really interested in, because I want to see how the Moroccans will be able to address this game, and knowing that getting to the next round is very, very important.
Toyosi Adebanjo live on the news tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. And that will be a wrap on Sports Wrap.